Hello, Macey here. Welcome back to my Laythe series. We're going to try and get Elysium here to get all the way out to Laythe on a single stage and all the way back to Kerbin with the help of refueling at my silos. So if you remember from last episode, we were just closing in on Laythe. So in this episode I want to try and aerobrake to kill all this velocity because I've got very little fuel. Rendezvous with Orbital Silo Beta, which is there in orbit around Laythe waiting for us, and then hopefully land with full fuel and take off again. So I've got my trajectory just skimming the atmosphere here, and I want that about 23,000 meters. Too low and I'm going to kill too much speed and enter a decaying orbit or just hit the deck there and then. Too little and I'm not going to be able to kill enough of my velocity and just fling myself back off into capture round duel. So it's about timing it just right, and I think at these sorts of speeds this is the kind of altitude I need. It can be a bit risky. If I face up this way, if it looks like it's slowing me down too much, I can just ignite what's left of my fuel, but I really want to try and avoid that. So best case scenario is that I can achieve orbit without having to burn anything. So that's what I'm trying to do here. My apologies for it being slightly longer than I intended to get this second episode out. Over the Christmas period I've had people staying around and I've been very ill and things like that. I haven't really had much opportunity to get onto the computer, but now things are settling down into the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Hopefully I can get back on the case and get you a lot more videos up in the coming weeks. So sorry about that, but back on track. So you can see here I'm killing enough of that speed and it's dragging in my orbit. Hopefully not too much. This is the exact same way I got Orbital Silo Beta out here. Although I came in a bit faster, a harder angle with that, and so I had to come a bit shallower through the atmosphere, probably about 19,000 meters or something like that. The faster you go, the deeper you're going to have to get, basically. So the more risky it will be. I actually made a mistake in my last episode because I told you I'd changed to 0.18.2 halfway through, but that wasn't entirely true because I realised I'd messed it up somehow, because at the end of recording this episode that you're watching now, I realised I'm still on 0.18.1. So my sincere apologies there, and I can assure you at the end of this episode I will be on 0.18.2. So as you can see, I've managed to achieve orbit here without burning a single ounce of my precious fuel. So it's time to select the station as a target and correct our orbit here so it matches that of the station a little bit more. So I'm going to burn apoaps just slightly to bring up my periaps to slightly thinner air and therefore enter decaying orbit. So I can go around a few times and just carefully manage my orbit here, where every time I pass through periaps it will bring my apoaps slightly in. I now want to do a plane shift so it matches that of the station. To do that I need to lay a maneuver node at the ascending node. All plane shifts should be done from the ascending and descending nodes because it's very easy to do and is very efficient on fuel. So I'm just adjusting that to match the station, which is the first thing we're going to have to do, and then try and rendezvous with the station maybe on our next time round. So I'm just passing through the atmosphere one more time, and on the way out this time I'm going to lay a node directly on the point at which our orbits cross. This is not the most efficient maneuver I'm going to do here, but I'm so proud that I've got here this much fuel. I've actually got a little bit of fuel to spare, so I'm going to make quite a high delta V maneuver here just because I can, really, and see if I can get capture of the station for the next time I come round on this orbit. So like before, I'm just bringing the two purple markers as close as I can to each other, and I like that to be always within 2 kilometers just because it makes things so much easier when you're trying to dock. So now that move is complete. I need to lay one final node at the point at which we're going to meet and make sure that the third time we come around I'm still going to be next to the silo, and that our orbits are the same shape. Otherwise, you'll still drift away from the target. So as I come closer, I'm just going to give one final burn, and I should be at a stable distance from the target to burn towards it. So, cut you a long and arduous manoeuvre short, I'll just skip to the docking. This is slightly easier than it should have been, because like I said, I have to remind you this is 18.0.1, but I have been closely monitoring my RCS, and I do think I can do this in the next version. So when I take off from Laythe, if I manage to take off from Laythe, if I manage to land on Laythe, if then I think I can dock again at the station with the RCS I've got, but only time will tell. So I'm just refueling now, and I'm making sure I'm going to get as much RCS as I can while I'm here. You can transfer all sorts of resources, it's not just fuel. So now it's time to leave the station and begin the final stage, which is to land on Laythe. And I want to do this with as much fuel as I can, much fuel as possible. So one quick deorbital burn to get me down is what I want to do. So drift away from the station, hopefully see you again soon. A bit of a signal light. We will see you again soon, please, we will be back. So I'm a bit nervous about this point in the mission, because landing on Laythe is not easy. It's not exactly flat, and even though I have got vertical landing functionality on this, I don't have a parachute, so I can't land vertically in Atmo. I'm going to have to do it on the wheels. So there's my deorbit burn. I've lined it up for this landmass I can see on the far side here. I think that's as good a place as any to land. So here we go, moment of truth, inbound. I think Elysium is my best looking ship I've designed to date, and as you know, I love my spaceships. I love my aesthetics, as it were, and I think this is so aesthetically pleasing that I can kind of overlook the fact that it flies like a pig in atmosphere, especially full of fuel like this. But I enjoy flying little ships like this. It's about getting something aesthetic to work. I mean, that's my little mission. So we've got all the way here on a single stage. We've just refueled twice, so it's not completely autonomous, so to speak. We do have to refuel if we want to get anywhere, but we've got here on just one ship. It's exactly the same ship as took off from Kerbin several months ago. So I'm just dipping my nose here as I come in, because I want to kill my speed and get down quick. I don't want to overshoot this landmass. The last time I tried to land on Laythe with normal undercarriage, I ran into difficulties and lost wings and engines and so on, because it's very bumpy down there. It's very bumpy, and it's very hard to kill your speed, especially if something as heavy as this. So I'm just activating my atmospheric engines here, landing gear down. I want to try and get in nice and flat across the top of the water and land on the coast where it's going uphill, because I think the best way of killing your speed when you land is if you land on a hill pointing upwards. Then gravity will assist you in slowing down, because if you have to put the brakes on, it's very easy to endo the craft and pitch it forward with disastrous consequences. So I want to come in as flat as I can and just land this ship on the uphill, and I have to be so careful because it's so easy to knock bits off your plane, and this does really fly like a pig. So I'm just coming in as smooth as I can here. I like to put a little light on the underneath of these ships, because it makes it much easier when you're landing, if you ask me, because I can judge to a degree how high I am by the diameter of the spotlight. So I need to lose some more height here. This is not good. This is not good. I'm going to get clear over the top of this ridge if I'm not careful. I need to put it down. I need to put it down so careful. I'm going so fast. Put it down. Easy. Easy. Oh no, I'm going to miss the ridge. I'm going to miss the ridge. See, that should be... Oh no, I'm just millimeters off, and now we're flattening out. And see, this is not ideal to land here because it's not steep. Oh, easy. Come on, girl. Come on. Right, we're nearly down. We're nearly down. Nearly down. We've got to do it before this next ridge, otherwise we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh no, okay, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Touchdown. Easy, easy, slow down, slow down. Oh no, airborne. That's it, slow down. There you go, I think we're down. I think we're down, so just let the gravity ease us back. Ease it back. I'm just going to touch the brakes, and stop. Phase 1 complete. We are on Laythe. We are on Laythe. We have done this. But I want to be a bit closer to that water. I want to go for a swim. You can't come to Laythe without going for a swim, surely. So I'm just going to back up. A bit risky doing this. I'm just using my engines to brake. There you go. I just want to get down to that shore. Surely he needs a swim. So here we are. Put the brakes on, handbrake, and time to get out and take a look. Now I've got ladders on the side of this, so I can actually embark and disembark when it's flat, and I've also got ladders that go down the spine, so I can get in and out when it's vertical as well, which is one of the reasons why I've taken this MK1 command pod rather than one of the Spaceplane pods. So I'm just going to get him out. Some people have asked me why I've bothered taking vertical landing functionality when I'm clearly coming to Laythe, but that's slightly missing the point, because I wanted to make a ship that could land anywhere. So I want to take the same ship elsewhere. I want it to be a multifunctional ship. So I know it's not needed for Laythe and I'm carrying extra weight, but back to the aesthetic point of the builds I make again. So here we are at the edge of the shore. We've been here before. Let's take a nice swim on Laythe. There you go, bit of an R&R from the vigours of space flight and months in cryo chambers. Deserves a bit of rest and relaxation. So make sure you keep an eye out for episode 3, when we're going to try and take off and rendezvous back at the station and get back to Kerbin. So hope you enjoyed that, and bye for now.